My 3D printer has what I would call a digestive issue. The bucket behind it fills up with filament poop at an alarming rate, and sometimes it even overflows onto my print plate. I could have just looked behind the printer every once in a while, but that's no fun at all. So I built a real-time poop detector that shows exactly how full the bucket is. And I even made it possible to see the level live on my iPhone. To build it, I used a microcontroller and a distance sensor, but I also needed to design and 3D print some parts. The first one was a simple bucket with a bit of fuzzy skin to improve the look. And I also created this bracket to hold the sensor above it. The bracket is designed to be easy to mount or remove when it's time to empty the bucket. For the display, I wanted to mount it near the printer, so I created this enclosure that can be mounted on the shelf where I keep my AMS units. I began assembly by pulling some wires through the sensor mounting bracket and soldering them in place. The display dropped neatly into the enclosure, the backplate was screwed on, and then the whole thing was mounted onto the shelf. With everything wired up and the bucket in place behind the printer, it was time to see it in action. I gradually filled the bucket by adding a few handfuls of filament at a time, and you could watch the level rise on both the little screen and the iPhone as the pile grew. Every time I added more, both displays updated almost instantly, and the app had very little delay as well. And when the bucket finally reached full capacity, both the microcontroller and the iPhone app flipped into a flashing red warning just to make it clear that things were about to overflow. So it all seems to work pretty well, but how does all of this actually work? The whole setup is powered by an ESP32 S3 microcontroller with a 1.28-inch display, and the VL53L0X LIDAR sensor is doing all of the distance measurements. The LIDAR emits light in a cone shape, which is why I designed the new bucket to be much wider than my old one. If the beam reflected off the side walls, the readings would be incorrect. For the electronics, I kept things pretty simple, and this is how everything is wired together. The sensor gets 3.3 volts from the ESP32, and since it can be a little sensitive to voltage fluctuations, I also added 3 capacitors to smooth out any voltage drops. Programming the microcontroller was pretty straightforward. To get the display running, I downloaded the demo package from the Waveshare website and used that as a starting point. From there, the code was updated to read the distance, convert it into a percentage, and draw the graphics on the screen. I also made the microcontroller send out the current poop level a few times per second as a small UDP packet over Wi-Fi. My iPhone was set as the destination, and I wrote a simple app that receives those values and shows them on screen in real time. So what do you think? Is there actually a use for a real-time filament poop detector, or should I just keep looking behind the printer manually? And please let me know in the comments if you have some brilliant ideas for similar projects you want me to build. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future projects. That's all for today, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.